Hey, what's up guys? So today we're gonna mess with my IS300 for the first time. I finally pulled this thing in, ready to work on. Today's project, we're gonna be rolling the fenders so that when we put coilovers and stuff on, we're not over here just rubbing and everything. I may have to take these fender liners out. I'm not sure yet. I know everybody just rips them out, but I kind of want to keep my car somewhat nice. But yeah, we got coilovers and some wheels for this thing, and potentially a manual swap here soon. We'll see. We'll see if Daddy Biden wants to give us another stimmy. What's this dog doing?
I was laughing at you.
So we're gonna use YouTube magic again to lift this car up. So we've got my Amazon special fender roller right here, and we have my heat gun so we don't crack the paint when we're rolling the fenders. I'm not doing an extreme fender roll. I pretty much just want to make it flat in here, just so we're not rubbing or anything, but I don't want to flare it. So it's been a while since I rolled some fenders, so bear with me. Yeah, these have some weird lug nuts. Forgot about those. Let's fit this thing on. All I have is the factory lug nuts that came with the IS, so we'll see if those work. Normally the lugs aren't all weird like. You see how far away this is? Usually, if you're on coilovers, you can't get that. So next, let's soften up our paint. And let me get this out of the way. Let's get this paint nice and soft so that we're not cracking it. You gotta make sure you get this nice and hot, because I've thought that I had it hot enough before and I still chipped it. And we do not want that to happen. Also, I think I decided I'm gonna keep the fender liner and try to keep it as factory as possible. And if we rub through it, we rub through it, but I'm gonna leave it and possibly trim it for clearance. So we finished this one, and next we're gonna go ahead and move on to this guy. So we need to lift it up, and I've never actually even lifted this car. I've hardly even worked on it before. So I'm gonna find a place where I can lift this up. We're gonna lift it up, and we're gonna roll the fenders on this guy. And as soon as we roll the fender on this one, we'll go ahead and do the coilover on this guy too. All right, so we gotta lift it up. We got the wheel off. On this wheel right here, it looks like we have a pretty big fold right here. And I left the stock suspension on so that we could have more space to use our fender roller, because once you put the coilovers on, you're kind of stuck at whatever height that you're at. And usually I can't get this to go short enough to do the roll that I want to do. So this time I figured I'd do it with the stock suspension still on. We're done rolling this guy. I got it pretty flat. I could have probably gotten a little flatter, but I didn't want to push my luck. Always make sure you clean the inside lip before you roll them so the dirt doesn't get trapped in there, because once you roll it, it's pretty much trapped there forever. You're not really getting it out. But that's the finished product. So next, we're gonna go ahead and put the coilover on. I ended up getting some BC Racing coilovers. I was gonna try to shoot for some PBMs, but they were out of stock. So we're gonna go ahead and see what BC Racing's all about. I mean, I've heard good things and stuff like that, but I just usually try to go with like smaller companies over like big companies and stuff like BC. But they've got to be all right. These are the extreme lows. And these are just BR coilovers. Let's see. I'm thinking that this is probably a front, but they look like pretty good quality. Definitely don't look bad at all. So I'm pretty excited to put these on and be able to finally do something with my IS. First, we need to take the stock strut off. Obviously, there's 3 bolts on top and there's only 1 bolt on the bottom. But we'll probably have to separate the upper control arm from the knuckle so that we're able to create enough space to pull the strut out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. All right, so it looks like we got that done. I wasn't sure how to use this bracket right here for the, I guess this is the ABS line, but I ditched the little chrome nut and I just used the OEM bracket. Also, the stock strut came with this on it. This didn't seem to fit on top of my BC coilover. Hold on, bear with me. Yeah, so you see that? There's like a gap right in there. It doesn't like want to fit. I actually watched a video before I did this, and the person I watched said that they put that back on because supposedly it makes a noise or something if you don't, but I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't make a noise because I didn't use that. So here's the finished product. I did actually end up dropping the upper control arm from the knuckle, as you saw in the time lapse, and that gave me enough space to push the stock strut out. And other than that, I really didn't have any issues. I know you guys couldn't see up here. All I did was remove this. So now I need to put this right back up here in its location. And it was two 12mm nuts. But yeah, no, there wasn't too much to it. I left my coilover at the stock position that it came in out of the box. I compared them and they looked like they were about the same height. So when we get ready to put my new wheels on, we will adjust the height then. So for now, it's just at like a static position that it came out of the box with. It'll still look better. Maybe we'll put some spacers on or something for the moment while we get the other wheels done, and it'll make my OEM wheels look a little bit better. As you can see, my caliper is like seized up. Looks like it's been like that for a while, that's why it's all rusty. These things are pretty cool. I actually had never seen, like I said, I've never worked on my IS before, so I'd never seen the suspension, but the strut is like flipped upside down. So we got 3 bolts up here. I'm gonna have to go in through the rear and pull up some of my interior so I can get to those 3 bolts. It looks like we got a bolt here, a bolt here, and then obviously the one on the bottom. But we'll be going right side up. The BC coilovers are set up that way. But I thought this was pretty cool. I've never seen anything like this before. All right. So next we're gonna do the rear coilover. So to do that, we need to get up here and pop some of these clips out and stuff so I can move this over so I can get to the top 3 bolts. So I was taking apart my trunk so that I could get to this. I'm trying to hurt as little as possible when I get all this off. And I actually found a full-size spare, like a sport design wheel in my trunk. And it looks like maybe it was one of the original wheels that they used because it's got like curb marks on it and stuff. But it's crazy how clean it is compared to the rest of my sport design wheels, because my sport design wheels are pretty ate up. But isn't that wild? I've never seen anything like that. So you can see like this one's pretty chewed up. The wheels did not hold up very well at the time. But I didn't realize like how deep this went. Like, this is actually a lot of trunk space that I didn't even know was here. After a lot of prying clips out and stuff, we're finally able to access these 3 bolts on the top. I really was worried about my clips and stuff because my car is in really good condition and nobody's ever pulled mine apart or anything. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't break anything when I was pulling it out, so I didn't video it. But here's all the stuff. I got it like covered up with the sun visor. And then I got my interior right here. So it's always better to be patient when you're pulling stuff out and take your time with the clips and stuff so you don't break everything. I mean, you don't want a trashy car. So now we just got to take those 3 bolts out, and then we have 1 bolt right here, And then we should be able to, oh, and then there's a bolt here and here, and we should be able to drop this out. All right, so these look like 14 millimeters. Obviously you need a deep well. Wow, that came off surprisingly easy. This thing's got like spiked studs on them. Okay, so I finally got this thing out. All right. It's a weird looking strut. Now we got our brand new BC coilover. So we'll toss this in, and hopefully it's not as hard to get in as it was to get the old strut off. So I struggled with that. Also destroyed my alignment by having to disconnect my lower control arm, so there's that too. I wanted to give you guys a proper view of how the car is currently sitting. It's kind of hard to because we got two vehicles in the garage, but a little bit of a gap. I'd like to fill that in.